This hair crazy greasy today. Hi. Went and got my coffee. I hunted and I gathered, as one does. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new around here, hey, what's up? I'm Stephanie. If you're a returning friend, hey, how are you? How's your week going? If you enjoyed this video today, be sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe so you never miss another one of my videos in the future. So, if you guys are following me on Instagram, which I hope you are at this point, I threw a poll up on my story a couple days ago about which topic you'd like to see in my next YouTube video, and it was between how to nail the interview and land the job at Starbucks or this one, which everybody voted on this one, which is the full story of my horrible store manager. And if you're new around here or you're just like getting familiar with some of my skits, this is the store manager that I'm referring to.
However, I got a baseball bat in the trunk of my car for a reason. Did you hear any of this? I'm writing next week's schedule and I don't care to be involved. Of course not. God forbid you were a good store manager.
I think it's time just to kind of like dive deep into it and kind of just tell you the history of this manager and where this comes from. Just kind of get a glimpse of not only her as a person, but also her leadership, her management style, which is the reason why a lot of things at my old store flew. Just to reiterate, in case you're new around here, you're just finding me now, I worked at 3 different Starbucks over the course of 3.5 years. My first one was a licensed store, so it was inside of a Target. I ended up applying to a corporate store, which is just a standalone Starbucks. That was my second store. Then my third store was on my college campus once I went off to school. So this store manager specifically was the store manager of my second Starbucks, which is where I actually worked the longest. I worked there for a little over a year. There's the little backstory, so let's just get right on into it. For privacy purposes and everything, I'm just gonna call her Brittany. I've referred to her as Brittany in a lot of my videos. I was 16 when I first started working at that licensed Target Starbucks. I started looking into going to corporate stores and I was applying a lot around the area, and the issue was, if you guys remember this, Starbucks used to sell alcohol. They tried it out. Eventually they did away with it. I don't think sales were all that great, but they took a stab at it, which in my town, at least, I can't speak for anywhere else, a lot of these stores were only hiring 21 and up because Starbucks started selling alcohol. I was 16, just going on 17 at the time, and I believe it was January of 2017 where Starbucks halted their alcohol sales. So then the minimum age to work there went back down to 16 or 18 in some areas. So I was applying to a bunch of different corporate stores around the area, and I landed on this one specifically. She said back to me, she's like, you know what, actually at this location, our minimum hiring age is 16, but I only hire 18 and up and you're only 17. Basically was like, listen, I know that I'm young and I know I might be below the typical hiring age that you hire at, but I promise I'm a hard worker, I do a good job, and I'm a damn good barista. And took a little bit of convincing, but she was like, you know what, all right, let's sit down and have an interview sometime. As you can probably imagine, they extended the job offer to me. I eventually started working there, and throughout summer of 2017, I was opening a bunch, then I transitioned into closing once my senior year of high school started, and so on and so forth. I quickly picked up on the fact that this store manager wasn't exactly the best very quickly, just based upon what my other coworkers were saying. Quickly noticed that a lot of the drama that went on at this corporate store, it didn't need to happen. Like, there was just like a lot of like cattiness and kind of whatever, and this person would be nice to your face but then go and talk about you, and it was a little bit weird. I kind of kept to myself the first few months that I worked there, just because, again, I was the youngest person. I was trying to get comfortable with working at a corporate store. This is a store that had a drive-through. I hadn't worked drive-through before. Brittany, she liked me at first. She did. I was super accountable. I was reliable. If somebody called off, which, by the way, there were so many people at this store that would no call, no show all the freaking time and would never get reprimanded for it or never get written up, nothing. Like, would literally just do whatever the hell they wanted, and they knew they would get away with it. When that would happen frequently, multiple times a week, Brittany would call me and say, hey, you want to come in for some extra hours? And I'm not even kidding you, 95% of the time I would say yes. I'd be a team player and I would drive my ass over there and I would go help out no matter what I was doing that day. I would drop plans, cancel plans, rearrange my schedule. I liked working there. I liked, you know, making coffee. I think at first that is initially the reason why that I earned Brittany's respect, because those first like 3-4 months I'd say that I was working there, I actually really did like Brittany. It wasn't until like the 5th, 6th month mark that I was working there that I really started to see what everyone else was talking about when they would tell me negative things about Brittany. This is why I also preach how important it is to set boundaries at work, because I didn't, and it came and bit me in the ass later on. And I remember the very first time I went into my next shift after somebody had called out and they called me and asked me to come in and I couldn't come in. I remember I came in and Brittany was just being so freaking weird with me. And I remember asking like, oh, how has this week been so far, whatever. And she just made this really weird, sly comment. Basically, I can't remember exactly what she said, but basically the principle of what she said was, well, it was rough because you couldn't come in. And it's like, that's not my responsibility. I'm not on call when I'm not here. So apart from her also always being in the back and writing the schedule, I'm not even kidding you, that is not an exaggeration. She was always writing that damn schedule and would still get all of our availability wrong. She never really wanted to lift a finger. She would always be in the back. We'd have these crazy rushes. We'd be understaffed all the time because she would let these people no call, no show, or just call off all the time. So we'd always be short staffed, and then she would just be sitting on her ass in the back just to kind of like speed it up a little bit, because there are a number of reasons I didn't find her to be a good manager. It was about, I want to say January or February of 2018. I was just about to turn 18. There was a girl that I worked with that we're cool now, but at the time she was dating Joe, my friend that also worked there. And mind you, Joe and I had been friends for several months at this point. A lot more time than they had been dating. There was one night that Joe and I hung out and, like, again, just friends. This girl, I'm gonna call her Jane for privacy purposes as well, but Jane was cool with it, was like, yeah, go hang out with your friend, being me, no big deal. Well, we hung out. I came back to work the next day and Jane wanted nothing to do with me. The only thing she wanted to do with me was fight me. She made a lot of physical threats pertaining to me to other people. Obviously, as a 17, 18-year-old girl, this girl was about 6 years older than me. So obviously I felt threatened because I'm like, okay, like, I don't know how valid these threats are, these claims are. I don't want to find out firsthand. So naturally, what did I do? I go to my store manager. I tell Brittany what is going on and what is being said. And there are other partners that were willing to corroborate my story and validate that, yes, Jane did say those things about Stephanie. She did nothing. Only thing that she told me to do was just avoid her at work. Okay, that's great, except we work in a space that is slightly larger than a cubicle. So how do you want me to avoid her exactly? Like, if she's on register, do I just go hide in the corner of drive-through, which is still only maybe 5 steps away from the register? Like, that makes no sense. That logic makes zero freaking sense. I just think as a store manager, if you hear that one partner is threatening another, maybe you should intervene, do something about it, because that's blood on your hands if, God forbid, she did something or whatever. It was just a freaking mess. To remind you, I'm still 18. I am still a senior in high school. I had less drama in high school than I did at this freaking Starbucks. Like, it was ridiculous. It got to the point where I honestly almost called partner services, because I was like, my store manager is not doing a thing to protect me and clearly does not care about my safety or anyone's safety at this store. So, like, who do I contact? Fast forward a couple months, Jane and I made up, we were good, it was fine. But like, for that month or two that we were beefing, like, I was nervous to go into work. I didn't know how angry she actually was at me, and this girl would not even look at me. Oh my God, that was another thing. I had to fight to get my graduation ceremony off. Oh my God, I just forgot the biggest story of it all, which I just posted about this on Instagram a couple days ago. When my childhood dog, Bella, she had cancer and was quickly deteriorating, and we actually had to end up putting her down. Came home from school and my mom was just crying, and she's like, Bella won't move and she keeps having accidents and is just like laying down while she's having these accidents. So like, it was just really bad. Like I was supposed to work 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. that night, and I called Brittany and I was like, hey Brittany, listen, like this is what's going on. She hit me with so sorry to hear that, but we really need you tonight. My mom is literally driving to the vet and is yelling in the background and saying, quit this fucking job, I'm so sick of this store manager, like dictating your life. And Brittany's hearing all that, and I'm like, Mom, be quiet, but like, you're making some points, queen, but like, she can hear you. So I hang up the phone with Brittany, and I came into work the next day, and Brittany literally didn't even like talk to me or acknowledge what happened the day before. Not even like a, hey, sorry about your dog, that's horrible, nothing. I was like, okay, that's cute, that's so cute, fun, gorgeous of you, that is so fab fit fun of you, thank you. Brittany's lack of intervening was ultimately the reason why I ended up quitting. All of these stories have taught me how important it is to not be a manager, but rather be a leader. I think that people who know how to lead will ultimately lead the team towards success, and there's gonna be just a layer of respect, a foundation of trust. And I think that it's also very, very important that there is a sense of safety in the workplace as well. Like I said before, I am also a huge believer in boundaries when it comes to work. There is a population of people on earth, a large population, that will take advantage of your convenience. You should not expect people to come in at the snap of your finger on their day off because people over here aren't being responsible. So it's sad that that attitude quickly changed from thank you so much for coming in to yeah, it's the job, you should be coming in. I don't know. She just was a very interesting store manager, and I'm so glad that I'm no longer in contact with her. I'm glad that I moved on and I stopped working with her. And I just pray for the people that work for her currently. I hope that she's gotten better. I hope that she has figured it out. So there it is. There is my story of Brittany, the manager that doesn't do anything and sits in the back and writes the schedule day in and day out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If I end up thinking of any more situations of Brittany, I will make a follow-up video to this because I'm sure there's more stuff. Like, I encountered her for over a year, so lots of stories. But thank you guys so much for being here today and watching this video. Again, if you enjoyed this video, thumbs up, subscribe to me so you don't miss my next one, and I will see you guys next Friday in another video. Please set those boundaries. Be nice to a barista today. Be nice to yourself and take care of yourself. Okay, I will see you guys later. Mwah, bye.